Hello and welcome back to Tales Untold. I'm Erica.
And I'm Wyatt.
And today we are going to be talking about vampires. This is kind of exciting.
Yes.
This is an age-old story, urban legend. I don't know.
I don't even know what you would call it.
I don't know. Folktale. I guess it started as a folktale.
Yeah.
Right? That's where Bram Stoker got his idea.
I think so. Like, that's the guy that wrote the original Dracula, right?
So yeah, I think that was, they had a folklore that there would be people would come back from their grave and haunt their families and kill people. Because, what other thing could kill people ever?
Interesting.
Where did you want to start? Did you want to start with the movies or?
We could start with the movies because I feel like that's going to take the biggest.
The Mary Brown thing is a little interesting to me, so we can save that.
I don't think I have.
Probably not. I had not heard of her before this.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
No, it made it sound like she was very famous, and I was like, okay.
Going back to Bram Stoker's Dracula, there was an unauthorized adaptation made of it called Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror in 1922. And that movie only is still around today because of bootleg and illegal copies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like I said, it was unauthorized and there was a huge lawsuit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So, like, the silent movie?
Yeah, the silent one.
Wow, that's the fake one? Or, like, unauthorized, I guess?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But it's still around today.
Technology. That's interesting.
And then there was a Nosferatu in the 70s that was made. I haven't seen it.
I think we tried to watch that one.
I think we tried to watch the 20s one that was silent.
We tried to watch both of them.
Oh.
And they were both
horrible.
Painful.
The 20s one was obviously really good for its time, but like it's a silent movie and it literally just flashes words at you.
Yeah, it's hard to consume with what we're used to.
Yeah.
Like going such a drastic difference. But him as a creature and a monster, it's definitely frightening. You're not going to forget that face.
Yeah. Definitely very spooky guy. I remember like the SpongeBob episode that he was in. That's actually how I found out about Nosferatu. Yeah. It was like some like spooky Halloween episode, and there was this guy that was applying to work at the Krusty Krab, but like they set it up super creepy and they thought like someone was like stalking them or something, and someone was flickering the lights and the guy was like, that wasn't me, and then they pan over and it's Nosferatu like flickering lights. I explained that horribly, but
I don't like SpongeBob.
You don't?
I don't. I find him very annoying. I'm probably one of very, very few people in the world that find him obnoxious. But I was not aware that he was even in any of them. That's so funny. I had no idea.
It's like a very, very, very small scene, but it did creep me out as a kid because I did watch that when it like first came out.
I mean, depending on how they made him look.
Oh no, it was the Nosferatu, like from the 20s one.
Oh wow! So they just like edited him in there.
I'm pretty sure it was like a scene from the movie, but they edited him flickering the lights. Like I'll show you the scene real quick.
That's ridiculous. I could not sit and watch something like that. That's too much.
I thought they edited pretty well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it also was meant to be
funny.
Silly.
Yeah. Definitely freaked me out a little bit when I first saw it.
How old were you when you saw it?
Probably like 8 or 9.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah, that
young.
would. Yeah, that would. Yep.
I didn't know who it was.
I still have nightmares of the scene in Snow White when she was running through the forest trying to get away from the evil queen. When like she feels like the forest is trying to get her and like the branches are tugging at her and stuff, and like she feels like there's eyes everywhere on her. Like that part still freaks me out, but I've watched it as an adult and I'm like, why was I so scared? Like, oh, because I was a child. They made a new Nosferatu, right?
Yeah. I actually went and saw that on New Year's Day. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little disappointed.
Oh no.
It was just super slow. And like I did really like how they like kept Count Orlok like super mysterious throughout the entire movie. But like a huge thing was like there was this like 6-week trip that this guy had to go on, and like he got there like instantly. Like they barely showed any of the journey, and it's like, no, I don't want them to really focus on the journey, but it was like they kept doing that. Like time and time had passed and they're acting like it's been a day.
Oh, they didn't do a good job portraying time.
Yeah. But Count Orlok did look very, very cool. I couldn't really understand him because he talked like, I don't want to try and
a really thick accent.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
what did he look like? I don't recall seeing him because I know you showed me a bunch of trailers.
They kept it hidden until the movie came out.
That's a good idea. I like that.
He was I think he looked.
He's pretty close to the original one.
Yeah.
A little less pointy.
That's pretty much what he looked like.
I mean,
but he was like dark and mysterious as well.
He's not as scary and bone chilling as the other guy. Like he's not as monstrous looking. He's more human looking.
Yeah.
But the Nosferatu from
the 20s was
the other ones. He's an iconic look.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Bram Stoker, he's going to be remembered forever.
For sure.
Because it's scary.
It is.
He's frightening.
You know what I just realized? The movie came out over 100 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bone chilling. Not in my lifetime.
Definitely not a movie that I would just sit down and like want to watch again. But it was all right. I did like the cinematography. It was a very dark and nice, eerie movie.
Was it dark where, like visually, where you couldn't see, like the Batman movies?
No. I feel like there was enough balance
where you could see what was happening without squinting. That drives me crazy. Where you have to be like in a black room to see what's on the TV because it's so dark. That's frustrating. Then your eyes hurt and it's not fun. It's not entertainment anymore. I got to work too hard. This isn't entertaining.
That was how it was for Alien Romulus.
I never watched that one.
I liked it, but it was super dark.
That sucks. I like what they did with the Lord of the Rings.
What did they do with those?
They made it like blue in the background. They used blue lights so that you knew it was nighttime, but it was bright enough for us to see.
That's what they might have done for Nosferatu because it was kind of like a blue.
It was overall. Like it wasn't lit up. It wasn't like bright, but you could see what was happening because you needed to. You needed to know whether it was an elf or a human that was getting shot. Like you needed to see. So they used blue, and I thought that was a really interesting. And I never really put that kind of dot together, but I saw an article or something about it. And I was like, you know what? That is a good idea. I appreciate that human being that went, you know what? I'm sick of not being able to see.
They should do that more often.
I like that idea.
Nosferatu's castle was super cool in the movie.
Do you know if they used a real one?
I think they might have. I'm not sure. So they did use a real castle called Corvin Castle in Romania. It looks super, super cool. I mean, what castle doesn't, really?
I know. Yeah, that does look really nice. That's really cool. It kind of looks like Disney. Like the second one there.
It
It's
does.
very blue. That's cool. I might have to watch it.
I mean, I would definitely watch it, but I don't know if you would like it. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. It's not that I didn't like it. I just feel like it was just super, super slow. And, like, maybe I'm just used to, like, super action-y movies.
I don't know. I'll have to read it. Read it. I'll have to watch it and get back to you.
You should watch it.
So, like, what's the main difference between Dracula and Nosferatu? Is Dracula the actual Bram Stoker monster?
Yeah.
So, Nosferatu, where did that word come from? Did
It
somebody
means
just pull
vampire in Russian, I think.
Russian?
I think so. It means vampire in German, I guess.
Nah. So why did they pick to call it Nosferatu in that first movie instead of...
Because it was an unauthorized copy.
I guess, but why'd they pick German?
Maybe the person that made it was German.
Meaning the offensive one or the insufferable one. Oh, I see. It's a word in Dracula.
Oh, it is?
Uh-huh. It's a word used to describe him in Bram Stoker's book.
Interesting. Well, the director of the movie is also German.
Oh, all right. Maybe that's why he picked up on that particular word and he was like, you know what? We're going to do this.
It's a cool name.
Yeah. I wonder if that's actually how you say it.
Nosferatu? I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I mean, that's how SpongeBob just said it.
I mean, that's how the whole world says it, but does that mean that that's actually how you say the German word?
Well, I mean, I feel like someone would have corrected.
Maybe. So they both had a female that they chased. And they hunt these women, right? They don't they both hypnotize them into thinking they're in love with this person, or is that Nosferatu?
I don't know if hypnotizing is the right word, but it is.
I mean, it's not really brainwashing.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It's coercing them into thinking. Because there's no way a sane person would, fall in love with a monster like that.
Yeah. I think that's Nosferatu. I'm not too familiar with Dracula.
I think Dracula is known for making people do things or like a mind control, but I don't know about something like that. I don't know. There's so many different vampire things at this point. We got vampires that can walk in the sun because of magic.
What?
Or
I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, the Vampire Diaries. You probably haven't watched that one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, no, they have magic rings that allow them to walk in daylight.
Why?
So without these rings, they will burn like the rest of them.
That's so silly.
Unless they are some of the original ones. Yeah.
So then what's Twilight about? Let's just skip.
Twilight's painful. I'm sorry. Twilight is painful. No, they just simply... They can walk in the sun, but they're like glittery when they do. Like maybe like a stone or a marble would look.
Moving on.
Right. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Forget I asked.
So yeah, they definitely have different names. Dracula and you said Orlok?
Yeah, Count Orlok.
I did not even know that he had a name. I thought his name was Nosferatu.
Oh.
Shows how much I know.
So I guess technically they're different, but Count Orlok is like based on Count Dracula. So
Yeah. Both
I
meant to
feel
chill
like-
your bones.
I feel like over the years they've kind of separated into their own thing. But
Yeah. I don't really like how fanciful and idolized vampires have become. Like, they were meant to be something to be feared.
not to be lovey-dovey.
Yeah. And, like, 300-year-old vampire falling in love with a 17-year-old is weird.
Yeah.
I don't care how old that vampire looks. It's weird. I mean, I think it would still even be weird if I was 400 years old and I was talking to somebody that was 40. I think that would still be weird. Like, I have centuries on this person. Like, they're a child in comparison.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you would be really out of place.
When someone says Dracula, I think of like a vampire with like fangs and like someone that likes biting people's necks and drinks their blood. Like that's
Right, and they're kind of funny looking because they're demonic like. They're not that close to being human because they're not human anymore.
right.
They are a vampire. So, I mean, I don't know. I think people really latched onto the idea of living forever. The immortality and the fast healing aspects. I think people really latched onto that and they're like, this is really awesome. I like that.
I think the healing, yes, but living forever, no.
No, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't
Not
want to
at
do
all.
that. No. I think we talked about this a little bit in one of the other ones
Yeah.
where we discussed which mythical being we preferred to be. I changed my mind. I don't want to do werewolf anymore. I want to be a cat. So, contrary to Dracula and Nosferatu, there was a woman named Mercy Brown, and she lived in Exeter, Rhode Island, which is not that far from us,
No.
on a farm in the late 1800s. And many of her family at this point had died of tuberculosis. And who else would they blame for such a tragedy?
Her.
The undead. So apparently she also was one of the dead,
What?
right? So she also died of this illness.
Like after or before?
So I'm guessing I think a couple of her family members died and then she died. And then her brother was still sick. So they exhumed her body and it was relatively easy. It was because it was in an above ground vault and it was also in the wintertime.
So they couldn't bury it.
Right, but what happens when you put something that died in a cold place?
Freezes.
So she's in an above ground vault, frozen, right? So she's been there for a couple months. So when they exhumed her and they opened it, they found very little decay.
I wonder why.
I wonder what that means. She's a vampire.
Of course.
So they believed that she was the cause of the family's ailments. So you're going to love this. They cut out her heart. They burned it. And then they fed it to her ill brother.
Well,
Yes, they fed it to him.
it is so sick and
So even more surprisingly, he died shortly after.
I'm not surprised.
Not at all. This is a wild story.
But why did
Like, I guess their only reasoning, because I mean, I guess they didn't have a freezer back then, right? So they wouldn't really know what happens when you put something like that in the freezer. But
no? But
seriously,
I mean, like, I feel like you would know because like when you go outside, you feel very cold. And like, and frostbite had to be a thing back then, right?
Right. So I don't know. Maybe that was just like a witch's cause, you know, like witches made that happen to people, not the cold. I don't know. It was definitely an interesting fact to find that not only was she a female that they believed was a vampire, because you know most of these famous stories they're all
male,
you know, famous men living in a castle. Yeah. They got all this money, and she's just a farmer's daughter. She wasn't even alive to defend herself.
No.
Like, and here they are just tearing out her heart and feeding it to her brother.
And why would they do that?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
I could understand taking it out and like burning her heart, right?
But then feeding it to him?
That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I don't understand that. No, that... I don't know.
I don't either.
And like many things from hundreds of years ago, there is a more rational explanation, usually a disease of some kind.
Yes.
So, in the case of vampires, scientists in modern day have found a most likely cause for all of these symptoms of being a vampire. A disease.
This is like a disease that would have made people think that vampires were real?
Yes. They would have caused all of the symptoms that are in books, that are in all of the folklore that we've seen, all of it. It is a blood disease called porphyria. And it was very odd to read this and discover that these symptoms are real for one and particular ailment. You know, it's not like you're picking and choosing, oh, well, it could have been this because this person did this one thing.
Right.
No, this covers all of them. Even sunlight. It's...
Really? Like all the basic, like Dracula.
Yes. Yes.
Like garlic.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So the sensitivity to light people could actually have been burned by the sun because of this disease.
Sunburned?
I believe it's like a burn. Like probably more like a chemical reaction.
Oh.
Rather than like a burn.
This already does not sound like much fun disease.
Worse. Yeah, no. And disfigurement, leading people to avoid mirrors. Because it'll make your bones kind of funny looking. It'll make you like gangly. It'll give you contractures in your hands. It's
literally like a vampire.
Absolutely. And then garlic contains sulfur, which can lead to painful attacks if you have porphyria. So you're going to start convulsing and twitching and acting like your throat is on fire because that's what it feels like.
Literally Dracula.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Or vampire, I guess.
Yep. Receding gums is a symptom of this. So it's going to make your teeth look bigger. Thanks. So your canines are going to look a lot bigger than they really are. And then you're already disfigured, right? So your mouth is probably going to be weird looking. Oh. And so you're just going to be this crazy looking...
And especially like if you have something that's sulfur, not even just garlic, but...
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's in other root vegetables or meats.
This doesn't sound like a fun disease.
No, it doesn't. And then also, they were aware of this disease back then. So doctors believed that because it is a blood disease, so their blood is lacking certain things. So in order to make up for those things, your blood is lacking. What do you think they're going to do?
Feed them blood.
They're going to consume blood. Now, typically it was animal blood that people would be consuming, but just like the article said, all it takes is one nosy neighbor to see blood being brought into a house. Oh, what's that for? Oh, and then rumors just fly out of control. And I thought that this was craziness.
That they're making them drink blood. That's that's so gross.
You have to be some kind of desperate. I mean, this disease sounds terrible.
Like, why can't they just like put it in you? Oh, I guess they wouldn't have like a.
No. I mean, I wouldn't.
I would hate to drink that.
Eesh.
Especially, like, I wouldn't rather human blood, but like animal blood.
Feels dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because they're probably going to pick rodents too. So, like, raccoons and bunnies and weird stuff like that. So they're not going to take, a cat. Well, maybe. A lot of people didn't like cats.
Especially black ones.
They're not going to take Old Yeller out back and... I don't know. Eesh. Everything about that disease sounds terrible.
It does.
I don't wish that on anybody. I don't even think there's a cure for it now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we have ways to kind of ease it, but I don't think that there's any way to actually cure it still.
Like at all? What if they actually did give them human blood, like, constantly?
I don't know. I don't know if it would make a difference. Because, I mean, I'm not really sure what it is that your blood is missing. I'm not sure what makes it the blood disease. This sounds like a really terrible disease to have.
It does. I would not want this.
No, and especially with the way that people were probably treated because they thought that they were a vampire or...
It was probably horrible.
Yes, that also must have been really traumatizing on top of this disease.
Yeah.
Like people that loved you or that you love are treating you like this now because of a disease.
Yeah. So how would you get this disease?
It said it was hereditary. So there's a mutated chromosome and something just doesn't... You can either get it from one parent or both. So I think they have linked it a little bit to incest. It was also known as the royal disease at one point.
Why?
Because it was running through royal families.
Oh.
Which are famous for incest.
I didn't know that.
For keeping the royal blood. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
How do you not know that?
I don't know.
Everybody knew that. I guess not anymore. So while the easy answer to this is, are vampires real? Is no. No, they're probably not. They were people that were very ill.
I feel like this is the answer to what vampires, what
porphyria, yeah. Definitely. And unfortunately, it probably started a lot of folk tales.
Conflicts.
Oh yeah, it was probably a lot of things. However, nowadays there are people that identify as vampires.
Oh my god.
So there are different kinds. People that drink small amounts of blood to stay healthy, usually in a private area from a willing victim. Yes, I think it said from like their arm or something, not from their neck, because that's messy, and I think it's all messy and it's all pretty gross.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. And then there are also people that claim to feed off of just the energy of others. So how people believe that you have an aura, right? Everybody has an aura.
Yeah.
So these people claim that they are able to feed off of the aura of others.
How
so
strange.
essentially taking energy from you. I don't know.
I don't.
We might have to jump into that rabbit hole at some point. I was looking for a vampire from one of these communities to reach out to. It was very difficult to try to find one. I did find one, but nobody got back to me.
Oh.
I was really hoping to sort of interview somebody so that we could, get some more information about how, especially the energy
Aspect.
vampire. Yeah, that was interesting to me.
That'd be a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, so I was kind of looking for more information from someone that's actually in that community. And I thought it would be
interesting
to have an actual interview and have a guest appearance.
That would be
exciting. So please get back to me. That would be lovely. Or if anybody has any ideas of where I could find someone, or anybody listening that wants to interview for that would be cool.
That would be.
But in short, Nosferatu is not real.
Dracula is not real.
I think that's a good thing.
Thankfully, yeah.
We have a lot of non-magical monsters in the world.
Yeah.
We don't need any others.
I feel like the porphyria disease was very...
Oh, absolutely. As I was reading it, I was shocked that there was something so close to all of the symptoms, all of the
basic Dracula stuff.
Yeah, it was just so
Dracula.
obvious. Yeah, it was so obvious. I was like, nah. Who knew you could be allergic to the sun? Crazy.
Alrighty, so I'm pretty sure that wraps up the vampire episode. And next week we will be talking about werewolves. This is Tales Untold. Thanks for listening.